Good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, June 22nd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome a Wednesday morning, and we're glad to have you with us here on Coleman and Company. We're on the air, of course, for Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. And Bob McDonald is on the phone this morning. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Well, we sort of had a tug of war between you and Bob as who was going to do the commercial today. First time ever.
Oh, I know. Robert and I appreciate him checking with me last night if I was going to be able to get on or not. And so I was able to jump on. Good to be with you, and thanks for letting me join you by phone.
Well, you've got some grandiose plans you may not want to tell everybody about, but it's an exciting time in your life, no doubt.
Yeah, we got a little fun trip coming up here. We head out for later today, and we're looking forward to that. And I know before we got on the air, we were talking a little bit about you and I are both baseball fans. We were talking a little bit about the College World Series. That's pretty exciting for the SEC, isn't it, Coleman?
Yes, it is. When half of them there, 4 out of the 8 from the SEC.
I know that's exciting, and they're all playing good. And of course, you know, our two boys, Robert and Michael, they both went to Ole Miss, so our family's excited to see how well Ole Miss is doing, and so we'll be pulling for the Rebels when they play tonight. So
I believe they play Arkansas.
They play Arkansas. They've not lost yet, so they have to lose twice.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that doesn't happen. You know, crazy things happen in baseball. Best team doesn't always win in baseball, does it, Coleman?
You got it. That's right.
But anyway, we're looking forward to that. And I want to talk a little bit about something that Susan and I and the bank participated in this past Saturday, and that was the Juneteenth celebration that was put on by Miss Mary Harris and her group there at the Wilson County Black History Association. And Coleman, I don't know if you've heard much about it, but they did just a really great job. They had an opening ceremony where they had a number of folks share some remarks and some thoughts, and they had a lot of vendors who were selling items. They had food trucks. They had music, and they just did a great job. And it was you could walk through Pickett Chapel and see the work that's being done there. The old playhouse, it's been completely renovated. Bob Black serves with that group. He's done a good job overseeing that renovation. So they just do a wonderful job with what they do, and just want to congratulate Ms. Mary on the great job that she did this past Saturday. I know she worked real hard and had a lot of volunteers. We're happy to see that be so successful.
Yeah, she's been working on that for a long time. It's not something that's happened overnight, that's for sure. That is right.
And tell you, Coleman, to talk a little bit of banking, we're staying real busy. We had a bank board meeting yesterday, and we were talking about how despite some economic issues going on in terms of the rise in interest rates and inflation, we're still very busy. And one of our board members asked, what has us so busy? What type of loans? And it's really all types of loans, Coleman. It's commercial real estate, it's residential real estate, it's personal loans such as car purchases, it's businesses are borrowing, and so it's a really, even though we hear of some challenging economic conditions nationwide, we still seem to be very vibrant right here in your listening area, and I think that's because of our diversified economy. I talked to one of my customers last week, and he sees it as one reason is we've got so many people who are moving into the area,
mm-hmm.
and so that's keeping the real estate market alive. So things are still going real well for us for us right here at home.
All right, we've got about a minute to talk about that free checking account.
Yes, Coleman, we've been real busy with that. We've been real delighted with how many have been opening, new customers coming in, say they've heard about us from their friends or their neighbors or their colleagues, and we're delighted about that. Free checking account's great. It is free. You get all the free electronic banking products that you might need, whether it's online banking or telephone banking or remote deposit capture or mobile deposit. Or you can, if you still like to come in the bank, you can get free checks and your ATM card, Coleman. You can use you can use any ATM in the world, and we reimburse you any third-party fees. So it's a great account, and we encourage your listeners who don't currently bank with us to come by and visit. Let us talk about that.
All right. Well, good to have you, of course, and I hope you have a great trip, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks, Tommy. Good being with you.
All right. Bob McDonald, he's president and CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. 10 minutes after the hour, and we have been doing interviews with candidates for... Got to get rid of Bob here. We've been doing interviews with candidates for 5th District Congress, and I have another one today, and it is my pleasure to have with us this morning Timothy Bruce Lee, known as Tim Lee. Tim, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here.
Well, it's a delight to have you and right across the table here to talk about things, and I'm going to sort of have a similar format we follow with try to with everybody. And the first thing we do is give the candidate an opportunity to tell people a little bit about themselves, your background, your education, some things like that you think people ought to know.
Okay. Well, my name is, like I said, Timothy Bruce Lee. That is how I will appear on the ballot. People just call me Tim. I am a paramedic for the National Fire Department and have been a medic for over 20 years. My career pretty much started off at Ground Zero when I went to volunteer up there. We took supplies and workers up there to help with the devastating actions of terrorists that day. And it was a horrific sight that we experienced, and it will be etched in my memory forever, as it will be all Americans.
Yeah. Well, a little bit more about you, your education.
Yes, I am like I said, a paramedic. I got my degree from my paramedic license from Columbia State. Have my undergraduate degree in political science from TSU. Born here in Nashville, lived here all my life. Have worked here and been educated here in Tennessee, never have worked outside. Do not have an Ivy League education like most of the people in this race. I'm just a simple person, just one of the normal people. Father of 3, husband, lovely wife for over 17 years now. And just have always been a individual who has stepped up and helped other people, and that's pretty much what's led us to this events today.
Why are you running for this office? Why do you want to represent the 5th District in Congress, the new 5th District?
The new 5th District. Well, it's exciting times. Over 150 years now, it's been controlled by the Democrats, and we have the opportunity now to control the seat. But the reason I have stepped up is because being a first responder, we have experienced the riots, we have experienced the COVID, we have experienced mental health crisis in our country, and I think it's just time that somebody that is from the streets step up and start leading, the charge to change the way we act. And who better than somebody who has experienced it all? I have been on the front lines, worked with the police, worked with fire. I've just seen it, and I know what's going on out there. I have a better grasp of what's going on in the world than any other candidate that is running in this district.
Now, you espouse the typical Republican platform and ideas, and
yes.
Okay. Anything in particular that really bothers you right now as to what are some of the points of your campaign that you would bear down on?
The biggest issues that I have on the campaign are, all the candidates are going to get up there and they're going to tell you the same thing. I'm pro-gun, I'm pro-life, I secure the border, decrease immigration, that's just red meat for conservative. And we all do agree to that to some point. But the problem is we need to change the narrative. We have to change the narrative. We have to start thinking for ourselves as opposed to letting the Democrats dictate what the issues are. One of my big issues is fentanyl. The border is so porous that we are getting so much fentanyl across the border right now that it is killing Americans. And nobody's talking about it. Nobody even cares. And it's really disturbing as a Republican that we are not taking that as the platform and the reason to secure the border is for the American people. Last year alone, 11,000 pounds were seized by border agents. That is enough to kill every American 7 times over again. That is huge. Here in the Middle Tennessee area, we are seizing fentanyl pills. We are seizing fentanyl powder on a weekly basis that are killing our citizens. And that is one of my big issues. Healthcare.
What do you feel can be done about that? Is securing the border one of the big things?
Yeah, that's the bottom line. That's the only way you're going to do it. We need to increase the security on our border. We have to provide technology that is going to be beneficial to tracking these criminals. And that's what they are. If you come across that border with fentanyl, you are a terrorist and you need to be charged as a terrorist because you are intending to kill Americans. Bottom line.
You want to continue to build the wall?
Yes, we have the stuff down there, so let's just go ahead and build it. What does it hurt? It does not hurt anything. It's just going to help. So why not? If that is going to protect American lives, then do it. I am for whatever it takes to protect my fellow Americans and my fellow citizens. As a paramedic, I see too many people dying every day by fentanyl overdoses. And we have to stop it. We have to stop killing each other.
Okay, Timothy, Bruce Lee, Tim Lee, my guest. We'll talk more after we go to this break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. 7:17 now. And this update brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. Complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. Red Max at Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still moving right now on 24. It's just a little bit heavy coming up through the Hickory Hollow area. Behind it, you got all that traffic coming in from Rutherford County. It's a steady flow of traffic now on 65 through Robertson County down into Millersville. Watch out, a lot of radar in Robertson, parts of Sumner County this morning as well. Hey, Ripley's has a great summer camp experience for the kids coming up. Check it out online at Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Tim Lee is with us here. He is a candidate for 5th District Congress. There are 9 of you Republicans. One will be chosen on August 4th, and early voting starts before then. But I guess, Lee, you're kind of right in the middle of the pack there. You're not first on the ballot. You're not last.
I am right in the middle.
What's been the response for your campaign so far? You've gotten off the ground well?
Yes, we are extremely well organized. We are doing lots of phone calls, talking to a lot of people. I probably talk to 100 to 200 people every single day on the phone, as well as work full time. So,
Well, the border thing, I think you have made your point there and made it well. But it's one of the bigger things that trouble you that you want to try to do something about if you make it to Congress.
yes, yes.
Are there some other things that still or that you're very concerned about?
Yeah, I'm also concerned about the mental health of our country. Coming out of COVID, we have seen a huge uptick in teen suicides and just suicides straight across the board. The isolation that we experienced sort of manifested more mental health issues than ever seen before. In the fire department, I work as a peer support group, which I help counsel with firefighters and paramedics and EMTs that experience post-traumatic stress. Anytime there's a critical incident, I try to respond along with my fellow coworkers to help talk them through, what they've seen and experienced. Because any first responder out there understands the baggage that is carried. We see way too many things that you can never unseen. And it's really, really, really bad for us.
As a member of Congress, what can you do to help alleviate that, to lend your support?
Well, first of all, we need to recognize that PTSD is not one incident that will stimulate it. We see a multitude of issues that can manifest into PTSD. And that's one of the things that is not being recognized. You have to, as it stands right now, for PTSD, it has to be one experience that you can isolate on a time and date, and that's not the case because it's like a garbage bag. We just keep filling it up with these things that we see: children dying, overdoses, loved ones, car crashes, gory scenes. And you fill it up until that garbage bag eventually overflows. And that results in a high suicide rate in our profession. It goes into where they turn to alcohol or drugs. They have family situations. There's all kinds of different things that arises from post-traumatic stress.
Some appropriation from Congress would be appropriate in your mind?
Yes, absolutely. We have to support those who protect us, bottom line. And I don't care, if it's the fire, EMS, police, border, those people have to be protected first because they put their lives out there on the line for you and I every single day. And we need to show them that we care about them.
Well, another thing that I think factors into this, Tim, we've had a number of shootings, and it seems like when we go for a while, and then we have a bad one, and there's several more, and there's been a number of them in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and
Yes.
It seems like there's some mentally unbalanced person that so many times is involved in those.
Yes. I mean, so many people want to blame guns. You cannot blame the guns. They are inanimate objects. That's like blaming, somebody who is gotten behind the wheel of a vehicle and is over intoxicated and kills a family. You don't blame the car. You blame the person. It's that simple. Visit any ER in this country, and you will see that over 50% of the beds are filled up with psychiatric patients. Wow. It is crazy how much is the mental health is being ignored in our country.
So you would like to draw attention to that, and again, I take it to spend some money in that direction.
Absolutely. I mean, we are spending an exorbitant amount of money transporting patients to the hospital for psychiatric care that they're not able to receive in an emergency room. They are taking up beds. They are in a situation that actually can provide more of a hostile environment for them. If you have somebody with disorder, the lights, the sound, the motions, all that stuff can stimulate an outbreak, resulting in harm to our nurses and doctors.
Well, it's definitely a problem, and I don't think any of us claim to have all the solutions. But your idea is we need to, if I can, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
Go
here,
ahead.
But you're instead of sweeping it under the rug, so to speak, have it out in the open, more attention, focus on the problem here.
Yes, we have to get this out in the open. We have to talk about it. Mental health is not a taboo issue. It shouldn't be. It's something that we need to address head on, and we need to find a solution. You know, when we started closing down state institutes and releasing these people onto the streets, they had nowhere to go. Some of the people that I pick up on a regular basis are homeless with psychiatric issues, and when they go to jail, they come out, they look better than they've looked in years, just because they were forced to take their medicine, they were fed, and they were housed, and when they get out, they just revert straight to drugs again.
Now, mostly what we've talked about here is dealing with the problem here, something that's going to cost some money. At the same time, you are a Republican. You definitely, yes. I would think, you ought to be fiscally responsible and live within our means. Does the fact that we owe $30 trillion bother you?
$30 trillion. Wow, I can't even imagine that number. I'm working on my paycheck. That's unbelievable. Yeah, we have to cut our budget. I mean, we're going into a recession. There is no way around it. We are seeing some of the highest inflation rates that we've seen in 40 years. Your credit card interest rates are going to go up. It's going to be harder to purchase a home. We're going to get into a housing, the housing market is going to drop off very rapidly because interest rates are going to skyrocket. And we have to cut our spending. We have to find ways to cut the fat. And unfortunately, the people that are cutting the fat right now are the fattest people out there.
I hadn't heard it expressed like that. But as far as the Second Amendment, I think we need to at least mention that.
Yes.
You might have alluded to it earlier, but your stance.
My stance is that I am a lifelong NRA member. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe that it is a state right and not issued by the federal government. It is, and I believe that it's indicated in the Constitution that the states have the right to design and pull in a militia. The militia is self-regulated. They have their own weapons, and that is a right that should never be infringed upon, bottom line.
I'm going to let you summarize in a moment, but is there any other thing really that, one other thing here again, we're hearing everybody say this, but abortion is a big thing. So just to get you on the record for that.
Get me on the record for that. It is a state right, bottom line. It's not a federal issue. Murder is not a federal issue. It's a state issue. So why not have abortion in that same area? Because that's what you're doing, is you're killing an innocent person. I have delivered 4 babies in an ambulance. I have 3 children that I've been there when they were delivered, and there is nothing more precious in the world than hearing that first breath of air from that child. It is an experience you never experienced.
You're 100% pro-life.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, we've got a couple of minutes here. If you will kind of summarize your candidacy, you've expressed yourself well this morning, I think, and especially in some of these issues that you see every day with being the emergency responder you are. But tell us why you should be Tim Lee should be our next congressman.
Well, thank you for having me again. The reason I'm asking for your vote is because I am just a regular citizen. That is what our founders intended to send to Congress, not these career politicians that go up there for 30 years or serve in one office just to move to the next best office, as several of the candidates in this race are doing, looking for the bigger paycheck. It is not about that. It is about knowing what we have to face, and I am that person. I am on the streets. I see it on a daily basis. I ask you for your vote. Go to my website, LEE, the number 4, Congress.com. Help with donations. We have a fabulous, an unbelievable video on the website that you should see. And that will explain who I am and why I'm running.
All right, this is the Republican primary, and there are 9 candidates vying for this. And the election, of course, is August the 4th, early voting. You know the date for that.
July 15th.
All right, July 15th will be early voting. And Tim Lee on the ballot, I'm looking at it here. It says Timothy Bruce Lee, your full name.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you being with us this morning and taking time to come and be live in studio. It's really been nice to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, that is part 1 of Coleman and Company. I hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:29. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford. They've got the regular oil change, $28.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, $16.73 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We've watched traffic volume increase quite a bit here on 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. That's what we're looking at live. A little bit of radar coming out of Dixon County this morning in certain sections there, like 40 as you make your way past 840. It got a little bit slow on a crash on 24 eastbound in Pleasant View as you come in from Clarksville, Montgomery County through that section of Cheatham County, starting to run a little bit slow. Again, that's through Pleasant View on 24 eastbound. Hey, Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, they're home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Log on to GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chum, you're on-time traffic.
Contact Stephen Lowry Land Clearing for all your land clearing needs. Whether it's clearing trails for ATVs, reclaiming pasture, or clearing your land of brush and trees, Stephen Lowry can get the job done. He works closely with customers, adjusting to make changes as you want. Steve Lowry will give you quality work at a price that you can afford. He will also beat any written estimate. Call Stephen Lowry at 615-970-8154 for all your land clearing needs. That's Stephen Lowry Land Clearing, 615-970-8154.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staples, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
Not likely to break our record high on this Wednesday, which sits at 103 degrees, but we will get uncomfortably close, up to 99. The humidity will make it feel like it's 103 at times. Sunny skies continue. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Erica Shreva.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2. Here on a Wednesday, every Wednesday at this time, we talk about Absolute Rental and Supply, 1325 West Main. Keith Illy is, I done said it wrong, it's Herc Rental, formerly Absolute Rental. But Herc Rental, and Keith Illy now is, of course, in charge, and he is with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here.
Well, my first mistake of the day, I hope.
That's okay. Hey.
Well, we love to talk about you because this business you've taken over, but it's been going for 20 years, and people depend on this rental place for so many things. So many times there's something that you need, maybe a big item that you can rent and not have to buy, and you've got a great thing going. And, of course, the number we always give out, the number to remember is 615-443-RENT, R-E-N-T, 615-443-RENT. And Keith has taken over from Philip. Philip has been coming. He's not here today. We got somebody else we'll introduce in a minute. But anything in particular you want to start out with this morning?
It has been so extremely hot. And right now, this time of year, we do have, out of our Nashville location, we have the ACs, chillers. So if that's something that you're needing for your party, don't forget to come see us. That we could set that up even just by coming into the Lebanon location. And, right now, this time of year, you're not really using the sealers and things like that because once it gets so hot, you can't really lay those down. They're not effective. So right now, people are getting ready for, their 4th of July party. So We are definitely booked up with skid steers, mini excavators, and we're staying busy.
Yeah, well, that's good. That is good to know. Now, we've always talked about going to the website and then calling 443 rent to reserve. What's the website?
So the website is hercrentals.com, and you can go there. We have some really exciting things coming out that I'll be able to talk about in the near future here that are going to really be pushed towards the customer and customer friendly. So probably in the next few weeks, I'll be able to discuss those with you on here.
Good. And Herc is spelled HERC, hercrentals.com, and then 443 rent to reserve it. And it's better to do that a little bit ahead of time if you can.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Who's with you this morning?
So this morning we brought in Landon Wiley, and Landon Wiley is the assistant branch manager of Nashville, acting manager. And so I thought I'd bring him on. I'd like to start so people are not just hearing my boring old voice, bring different people in and let them kind of introduce themselves and talk.
Well, good idea, although I don't think you have a boring voice. Landon, welcome to our program.
Thank you. Good morning.
And what would you like to tell everybody?
Yeah, just kind of to piggyback what Keith said, it's real hot outside. I know that there's still people that are working out there, so, come see us for any, construction needs, or if you just want to do some work at your house on the weekend, give us a call. Trying to stay cool, give us a call. We've got just about everything you need. So
you've been doing this for quite some time?
Yes, sir. So I started in Birmingham at Herc Rentals and just moved up about a month and a half ago to Nashville. So I've been doing it for almost 4 years now. So
yeah. Well, we like to brag about the location here, and it's big enough to have a lot of equipment there, and people are used to this. And the only thing really I think that's changed, maybe a couple of things. The ownership obviously has changed, and it does give you an opportunity to have maybe some more things to rent because Herc is what, nationwide? You cover a wide area to say the least.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
nearly 300 locations across the country and Canada. So
you're in the U.S. and Canada.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You want to add to that?
No, I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say. We're definitely expanding. Over the next 4 or 5 months, you're going to see multiple different types of equipment coming into our yard. Really exciting. We're just going to grow.
Yeah. Well, I think for years, this rental place has served the needs of the private citizen people, as I expressed it earlier, who need an object but don't want to go spend a lot of money for it. Just go rent it and use it one time and you're through. But you do work with contractors, and maybe you're going to be doing even more of that in the future.
Right, yeah. So our goal, is we want to treat the biggest contractor the same as just the weekend, warrior that wants to get some stuff done in the yard. That's what is important to us. No one's treated differently. We'll rent to you, and so that's the goal. Just because you have a big name on your shirt doesn't mean that, we're going to treat you different than, you just want to trim some trees in your yard on the weekend. So, that's how we are at Herc Rentals. So.
Well, we've had the slogan, we have what you need, and I think you have even more of what you need now.
We definitely do.
Anything else you got for us this morning?
No, just make sure that we're open 7 to 5, as we talked about, and then on the weekends, 7 to 4 on Saturdays, closed Sundays.
7 to 4 on Saturday, and
then we do have the weekend special, like I've been talking about.
Right.
Monday, or pick up Friday, bring back Monday for the one day.
And that's to your advantage too. You have a little more time to get in your time that way, and maybe it rains one of those days.
We all would hope
that's to your advantage too. All right, well, Landon Wiley, thanks for being with us this morning. It's
yes,
nice
sir.
to
Thank
meet
you for having me.
And of course, Keith Illy. We'll keep seeing you and talk about Herc Rental at this time each Wednesday. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
All right, Herc Rental, and again, located at 1325 West Main in Lebanon, hercrental.com, hercrentals.com, and the phone number 615-443-RENT. 21 and a half before the hour, and I am joined by Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, who is here, and I'm sure he's got good news for us this morning. I don't know what it is, but it's got to be something. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. It's always good to be here.
Second reading on the budget last night?
It was. We had a second reading last night, and it passed unanimously. And so we're good to go now. Stuart Lawson, the finance commissioner, he'll turn that into the state, and we'll be good to go for July the 1st. And in that budget, there are several important things, but the most important thing is there's no property tax increase.
Yeah. This is sort of a hurdle in a way. I mean, it's something you prepare. You do spend an extremely amount of time and preparation to come up with the best budget you can. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's something that's just sort of put together overnight or anything. You spend a lot of time. There's a lot of thought, and you have to. There's some appeasement, I guess, too, of some department heads who want more to get cut back. All that is a process.
Absolutely.
Most of it has been worked out before you vote on it.
It's a multi-month process. It really is, and a lot of work goes into it. And it really begins with myself and Stuart Lawson, as I said, the finance commissioner, his assistant Sherry Featherston, and we get together not too far after the end of or beginning of the year, back in January, and to really begin this process. And really what happens is we have each department head work on their budgets. I give them some instructions, sort of how I want them to approach this, and then they turn them in, and we meet with each one of them individually and talk about their wants, their needs, talk about what we really can do and some things we cannot do. And then ultimately it really comes down to me to really decide what that budget is going to look like and what it's going to present to council. But even though, I make the final decision, a lot of work goes into it. I mean, with every department head, the people who work under them, and I thank all of them for all that work, because it's not easy. It's really not. And then of course, we have council work sessions, and they have a lot of questions and their ideas as well. And then ultimately it comes to a vote, and you vote twice. And really once you get to the vote, it's all hammered out. And it's ready to go, but it is a real process. And you're right, the department heads, they fight for their departments, and I appreciate that. That's what they should do. And they have certain things they want, but on the other side, we have to look at the numbers, we have to look at the projected revenues, and we have to fit everything into that, because it is the people's money, and we need to spend it wisely, and that's our goal. So there's a lot of give and take. There are some negotiations, and I think in most instances people come out of it happy. But I know sometimes that maybe they wish they got a little more. But in the end, we try to do what's best and try to make the best decisions, and that's what we come up with.
Okay, I wanted to ask just this one thing here, if my memory's right. Not too long ago, I think we did a budget for 2 years, and
we did.
It seemed like that didn't work too well.
That did not. Actually, I was on council when that was approved, and at the time, it was really advertised as something good. It was something that the state had done, that if you had done well in the past, a city could qualify to do that. We had qualified. We did a 2-year budget, and it's just hard to project for 2 years. It really is. And, about halfway through it, the department heads were struggling. There were some adjustments that need to be made, and we won't do that again. You learn from the past, and I really believe that was a mistake, and we're not going to make that mistake again. It's a year-to-year thing.
Well, it was a mistake. It wasn't the best way to go, but you did find out that it's not the best
that's
way.
right. And you learn from things, and that's the thing about hindsight's 20/20, and you learn from things you've done in the past, and and I know now not to do that again. But it's not just me. The department head, Stuart, everyone agrees that we need to do it on a year-to-year basis, especially with you have to make projections in sales taxes. Those are hard to project 2 years out. Things are changing more rapidly now. There's, all indications there's a recession on the horizon, and that just makes things more difficult. It's already a difficult process. That just makes it more difficult, and it's just better to do it on a yearly basis. And it's a lot of work. But again, it's important work.
We've got a minute or two before we go to the break, and I want to ask you about the sales tax revenue has been good, has been increasing. It's very positive.
It is.
Does growth money affect, and by growth money, we're talking about the where property tax comes from, where the assessment goes up. Of course, we cut the tax rate back. You don't make money off of that, but at the same time, there is growth there where you have more parcels of land or subdivisions, that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, if something is built on a piece of property, the property tax value on that land goes up. So our property tax rate, along with growth, goes up every year. And property taxes, we know what that's going to be based on the properties we have, the growth that we know is coming. We can estimate that pretty closely. It's the sales taxes that that you have to look at the past, see what you've done, and really project into the future. But yes, I mean it does increase our property tax revenue as well.
Well, it's good to have the extra to anticipate, and you can do a little bit more of that.
That's right.
All right, we'll take a break right here. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is with us. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways, 7:45 now, and it's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have Red Max, complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, THP. Still out here working this break in Cheatham County. It's going to be on 24 eastbound at the 24-mile marker. That's through Pleasant View in that area there, Cheatham County. Behind it, you got all that traffic trying to get in from Montgomery County, Clarksville area, headed towards Nashville. Again, a little bit slow, 24 east at the 24-mile marker. THP still trying to clean up that crash. It's busy as expected now, 65 south here at Trinity Lane. Hey, Ripley's has a great summer camp experience coming up for the kids. Log on to Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedarstone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us, and our thanks to Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell for coming here twice a month. We find out a lot what's going on in the city. Now, we've dominated the whole thing up to now about the budget passing on second reading last night. Don't want to rehash any of that other than if you just joined us, it did pass on second reading unanimously.
It did.
Okay.
It did.
So now what else do you need to talk about?
Well, there are a couple other things. We had a couple other meetings yesterday that were important. But I do want to say this. You just asked about sales taxes, revenues. And one of the things that I've said out here before, but I like to reiterate, is that, every month, Lebanon brings in more sales taxes than Mount Juliet does. That's something I'm proud of, but something that surprises people a lot when we say that, because people see Mount Juliet, Providence, and some of the things they have there, but it's every month that we bring in more. And there's a lot of factors going into that we can talk about some other time, but it's something that that we count on. That's a big part of our revenue base, and that's one of the reasons why we can do some of the things we've done in this budget is because of that. So that's something I look for every month. Stuart and I meet every month. That's the first question I ask him. Do we beat Mount Juliet? Yeah. Every time he says yes. But there were a couple other important meetings yesterday I want to talk about. We have something called an infrastructure committee. It's a committee of citizens that get together, and they really look at projects of like utility projects, road projects, anything about infrastructure above ground or underground. And then they make recommendations to the city council. They get reports from our department heads in those areas, and they make recommendations to city council about projects that should move forward. And it's a really great committee. A lot of great people spend a lot of time on it. But yesterday we had a meeting and about something that I've been talking to Margaret Washko about. She's our utilities director, and that's increasing the capacity fees and the tap fees on new construction. Those fees have not been looked at since 2015, which is, it's a long time ago now. And, and with the growth we're having, infrastructure is obviously a big part of that. And I believe, that new construction should pay for that. If we don't have these fees, that's going to put more pressure on the ratepayers, on the citizens who pay their water bill, their sewer bill, their gas bill. And, I already believe that new construction, as more stuff comes in, that's putting, more strain on our systems. It's going to cause us to, we're going to need to improve our systems going to the future. And, I really believe that, new construction should pay for that. So that's something that the Infrastructure Committee, they were introduced to last month, and we continued the conversation yesterday. And they did make a recommendation. And so, we'll take that on the City Council now to increase some of those fees.
Okay. What else?
And then we had another meeting yesterday. We actually had a bid opening for the sports complex. And so that's obviously something we've been working on for a while now. And as you know, this council several years ago bought some land down 231 South for a sports complex. There was a sports complex committee put together to look at that overall property, and we decided to go at phase one, which would be soccer fields, to get those kids off the airport because it's just not safe over there. And the bids came in, and the low bid was a company out of Maryville, Tennessee, called Reliant. And that bid came in at a little over $14 million, which is about $2 million less than our estimate was. So we were very happy with that bid. It came in lower than what we thought. And now Jeff Baines, his team, they'll look at the contract, make sure everything's good. And once we do, then we'll present that to council.
Now, assuming that that's a go, where's the $14 million coming from?
Well, we put together a plan for that. And, one of the things I want to make sure we're certain was that we did this. It would not involve any kind of a tax increase, and it will not. Part of that money is coming from the American Rescue Plan. We found out we were getting some extra money. Now, we have about almost $10 million just going into infrastructure. But then we found out we're getting some more. So that extra money we're going to put into this. The Stormwater Fund is also going to put some money into this because, part of that plan was to actually improve the stormwater drainage in that area. As we know, that's an important area for us. So we built something. We didn't just want to keep it steady. We want to make it better. Mm-hmm. And so Stormwater's going to put some money in. And then we're going to take some money out of our cash balance. We have about $50 million in that now. And so there's a number we don't want to get below in that. We always want to keep something in case of a recession or anything like that. But we have enough in there that we can use, about $8 million of that to be able to pay for this. And really my goal on this financing is to make sure that, again, we don't put any burden on the taxpayers. So, for years now, there's been a payment on the Jimmy Floyd Center. And we're about to make our last payment. So the way we designed this was that if we need to borrow any money for this, then that payment would fit right back in that same line item. So it's been there, it would continue to be there, but it would not be an increase. So we've worked out a good financial plan for this, I believe. The council, they liked it as well. And, this is something that's important. We haven't built a new field for our youth in over 20 years. And I think it's time to do that. So, but the bid came in lower than we thought, and that's a good thing.
All right, assuming this is a go, when would construction start, and what kind of time frame as far as the finished product?
Well, it takes two readings, by City Council to approve these things and stuff. So, I would really like to have people out there using that facility and playing in the spring of 24. I think that's a reasonable goal. That's the goal we set when we put these bids out. And, I really think that's something we can do. And there's also other things out there. There are pavilions, there's a playground, there's a mile-long walking trail. So it's not just for soccer, it's for everybody. But obviously that's the main thing.
Well, what about phase two? And that's way down the road, obviously, but
it is.
Got to be thinking in that direction.
It's way down the road, and the design has been there, from the the committee. Now there hasn't been an actual blueprint design done, but the concept is there. But also as we go in the future, obviously baseball and softball are two sports that a lot of kids here play, and those are sports that we want to help get new facilities. But one of the things I was thinking as well is that there are indoor sports now that a lot of people play, and maybe that's a facility we need to start looking at out there as well. But again, that's in the future. I don't know when that'll be. Baseball and softball have priority, but.
Okay, well, now you get soccer done. Would I guess there are soccer tournaments and so on. Would this be a possible destination for some of that?
It would be. Now we're building it for local kids.
Yeah.
That's really what it's for, and get them away from the airport. That's the main focus. But obviously, if you have a complex with 5 fields, one of them would be turf. Maybe one day, a corporation or somebody might want to sponsor another turf field. But right now, that's what it is, and that would draw some tournaments. But again, the major focus are the local kids.
Okay, you've got a pretty good list of things here. We can't have covered all of them.
Well, there's just a few things that are going on out there I want people to know about. The Lebanon Fire Department just instituted a burn ban in the city of Lebanon, and it's so dry out there right now that they don't want anybody burning anything. So
what that means is you don't set fire to anything.
You don't set fire to anything.
All right.
Don't send
a burn ban.
There's a burn ban. There is. So that's important, and they'll make more announcements about that. They have a Facebook page where you can keep updated with those things. But if you have any questions, just call the fire department. They'll be happy to answer that. Also, the railroad crossing on College Street, R.J. Coleman is about to start smoothing that out. And anybody who goes over that street knows it's been rough for a long time. But starting this Friday, there's going to be a detour around that area, and that's going to go from Friday to Tuesday. So anybody who travels down College Street, just keep an eye out for that.
They can fix it that quick.
They say they can.
Well, that sounds, I don't know what all has got to be done, but if you get that, whatever it is, if you can get it done that quickly, I'm all for it.
That's right. But that's one I hear about a lot. A lot of people call about that one. It is rough, so that's going to be fixed. And then just last week, the traffic signal at Cairo Bend Road was activated, so that goes red and yellow and green now. So if you're down that part of town, be sure and watch out for that. And then, there are a few events I do want to talk about. This past Saturday, we had the Juneteenth celebration on Market Street. And the Wilson County Black History Committee, they sponsored that, and it was a great event. A lot of food and vendors and things. And so that was good. And then this Friday, the Square Merchants, they're going to have another Rock the Block event. Yeah. And so that should be fun. So I ask everybody to come out for that. The last one was great, and so I'm sure this one will be great too. And then we're going to have
totally free.
Totally free.
In the southeast corner of the square.
The southeast corner. Yeah. There are food trucks there, and there's music and a lot of things going on. So that should be fun. And then we have our July 4th celebration coming up here in a few weeks, and I know that Patsy Anderson, who's working on that, she's going to be out here talking to you in more detail. So I don't want to steal her thunder, but it is coming up. That's a lot of fun too. And
started practicing yet?
Well, the highlight of the day is me and you playing cornhole, and I have not started practicing. So that's good news for you.
Well, I'm gonna get in a few licks today. We got a tournament today at 1 o'clock at the Senior Citizens Center.
Yeah, and maybe I need to come up there and practice.
We'll come over and play with us today. We might let you if you're not 55.
Well, I'm not. I'm not. But maybe you guys will let me in.
But it's all up to Teresa, unless you overrule it.
Well, I might just overrule Teresa and say I'm coming in anyway. And then this past week, McAllister's opened up. That was they had their ribbon cutting Monday, and they open at 10:30. At 9 o'clock, there are people lined up around the corner to eat there. And so, if you haven't tried McAllister's, go out there and check it out. It's a really good place to eat.
How's the others coming along? Well, I guess Whataburger.
Well, Whataburger, they're going to come in and start training this week, I've heard, and so they should be ready to roll in about 2 weeks. They look finished to me, so that's good. Also, MJ, I was just talking to her before I came on there. She noticed, and I think everybody on the west side of town noticed, a fence has gone up around the old Kmart building, so they're starting to work on that. those renovations. And so we announced that store lineup just a few weeks ago. And, Sarah Hayes and I, we're working on things every day, getting more stores here, more restaurants here. And, there are some things coming out of the pipeline that I can't mention, but, just know we're working hard because I know that's what people want, and that's what we're working to get.
Well, I guess that pretty much takes care of it today, but if you joined us late, the second reading of the budget took place last night, so we're all set for the fiscal year of July through June of 22-23.
We are.
And that's good, and no tax increase.
No tax increase.
Plus, that really good news with $14 million instead of $16 million bid on the new soccer field.
Absolutely, we were thrilled with that, and so we'll continue to work on that project.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time, and for our listeners, that's it for Wednesday, and I hope you join us tomorrow. And until then, I wish you a wonderful day.